Sour grapes for Otmar Szafnauer and Alpine, as the French constructors' boss is still a little bitter about Piastri Gate from the summer. Mick Schumacher feels he has what it takes to compete for world titles in the future in Formula 1, and McLaren might be opening a big can of worms by letting Andreas Seidl out the door. I'm Ollie Wilson, and this is the news this week in Formula 1 with GPFans. This week, Mercedes announced Mick Schumacher would be their new reserve driver for 2023, with team boss Toto Wolff believing the young German was a victim of F1's brutal nature. Schumacher failed to retain his seat with Haas after 2 years with the American team, but the new Silver Arrows man believes the pressure he dealt with in 2022 and to finish the season in the manner in which he did is an indication that he has what it takes to succeed in F1 despite the slight derailment of losing his position on the grid. I feel like even with that amount of pressure that I've been under in 2022, I was able to come back. That just shows that if I am in the right spot at the right time, there's no reason for not going all the way and being in a title fight. That's what I'm really believing in. I've shown that in junior categories I'm able to win championships. I'm coming back with a lot of hope. Is Schumacher in need of a season or two away from it all in F1 with Mercedes, or should he actually have a seat on the grid going into this new year with all the pressure that comes just from the family name alone? Getting it right in F1 first time round was always going to be incredibly tough for the youngster. Alpine team principal Otmar Szafnauer has warned Oscar Piastri that selfish species perish after a lengthy dispute over the Australian's controversial move to join McLaren. Piastri flat out rejected Alpine this summer despite just having finished his deal with the team as one of their development drivers, instead forcing the French constructor into a legal battle with McLaren over the contract rights to the driver and his future in F1 for 2023. Alpine boss Otmar Szafnauer spoke with GPFans after the season, and when asked about what he'd learnt of paddock politics and loyalty in the sport this season, Szafnauer responded with a rather scathing put-down of the young driver. Species that are selfish perish, and that's true in history. I think that might apply to Formula 1 too, but let's see what the future brings. We had an obligation for Oscar to either put him in our car next year or find him a seat, a loan seat somewhere else, or he became a free agent. The original plan was for him to take a seat at Williams. Oh, what could have been for Piastri? A seat at Williams perhaps? I think he'd probably take McLaren over that one just for now. And finally, after a damning judgment on Fred Vasseur's move to Ferrari this week, Sky Sports pundit and former F1 driver Martin Brundle has the bad news bears out again for Lando Norris and McLaren this time. Andreas Seidl moved from the team to Sauber Group to take over from Vasseur after he took the top job at the Scuderia this week, with Seidl's links with the Volkswagen Group a key component for the move, considering Sauber will soon be joining forces with Audi in F1 come 2026. But with McLaren soon to complete a number of new infrastructural developments, such as a new wind tunnel and simulator, Brundle believes that the team's young driver Lando Norris could be left with questions of his own about McLaren's future and why Seidl felt the grass was greener elsewhere. Lando will be looking at it thinking, why has Andreas jumped ship? What has Andreas seen at Audi that he much prefers to McLaren? Said Brundle when discussing the team boss merry-go-round from this week. There's no doubt about it, losing Seidl is bad news for McLaren going forward. Now, is this too damning from Martin Brundle? Should perhaps Otmar Szafnauer just put the Oscar Piastri gate from the summer to rest and get on with focusing with Alpine? They've got a great driver lineup, of course, with Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly for next season. Let us know in the comments section below on all your thoughts from the week in Formula 1. And of course, gpfans.com for plenty more news this off-season.